Choosing the right cloud provider for your AI projects, it can literally make or break everything. So, welcome to our brand new series on AI cloud selection. In this very first module, we're going to break down the absolute fundamentals, the stuff you have to know before you even think about making that huge decision. All right, let's get into it.
Okay, before we dive deep, just a quick heads up so we're all on the same page. This is the first of a 15-module tutorial, and it's all based on a really comprehensive report by Virtualization Options LLC. Now, what we're talking about here is general guidance. It's not a warranty, and it's definitely not legal or financial advice. So please, make sure you talk with your own financial, technical, and legal pros before you take any action. These modules are just a taste of the full report. And today, we're focusing on the core ideas from Chapter 1.
So, what's on the menu for today? Well, first, we'll get our heads around why AI is a whole new way of computing. From there, we'll see how that completely changes the rules for computation, for memory, and even for the nitty-gritty physical stuff like power and heat. And finally, we'll tie it all together to help you start planning for this massive shift.
All right, let's start with the big picture. The single most important thing to understand from all the research is this. AI is not just another app you can toss onto your current servers. No way. It represents a fundamental, ground-up shift in how computing is done.
And this slide right here, this gets to the very heart of it. For decades, we've built our IT for stuff that's pretty predictable. A user makes a request, the server gives a response. It's neat and tidy. AI is a hurricane. It's this massive storm of parallel computations, often unpredictable, running in enormous batches. It's a totally different beast.
And here's the brutal truth. If you try to use your old planning methods in this new world, you're just setting yourself up for failure. The source material is crystal clear on this. You'll either burn a mountain of cash on gear that just sits there, or you'll create bottlenecks so bad they'll bring your entire AI dream to a screeching halt. The stakes are just that high.
So, what does this actually look like when the processor starts spinning? Well, it's really a story of bursts versus marathons. And this is where the old rulebook really gets thrown out the window.
You see, AI workloads really have three distinct phases. First up is training. This is the marathon. We're talking an intensive, weeks-long grind, slamming hundreds of cores at once. Then comes validation. Think of these as quick sprints to see if that marathon of training actually paid off. And finally, you have inference. This is the go-live moment, where the model is making split-second predictions and needs incredibly fast, low-latency responses.
And this slide just captures that intensity perfectly. A normal enterprise app, its usage goes up and down, right? Peaks and valleys. Now look at the line for an AI training job. It rockets up to 100% utilization and just stays there, pinned. Not for a few minutes, for days, or even weeks. It is a relentless, non-stop demand for power that our old infrastructure was simply never built for.
Now, all of that non-stop computation is fueled by a ferocious appetite for data. And that brings us to the next paradigm shift, memory. We are not talking about a little upgrade here. We're talking about a whole new scale of thinking, moving from gigabytes to terabytes.
Let's just try to put this into perspective for a second. Your standard busy database server, it's probably juggling a few hundred gigs of active data. But a single AI training job, it can demand terabytes of data to be available instantly. See, it's not just about having enough storage somewhere. It's about having an architecture that can feed all that data to the processors without choking. The scale is just on another planet.
The fancy term for this is working set size. Basically, how much data a system has to keep hot and ready for active processing. For AI, that working set is orders of magnitude larger than anything we're used to. This puts an unbelievable amount of stress on every single part of the system, from the flash storage all the way up to the CPU caches.
Now, all this computation, all this data flying around, it doesn't just happen in some abstract digital space. It creates real physical energy. And that brings us to our next huge challenge, power and heat. This is where the ones and zeros meet the cold, hard laws of physics.
This chart tells a wild story. Over on the left, a traditional high-end CPU, pulling maybe 200 watts. Okay. Next to it, a single high-end GPU for AI. That's already up to 700 watts. But then look at that monster bar on the right, an 8-GPU AI server. That's drawing up to 5,000 watts. It's not a step up. It is a colossal, jaw-dropping leap in power density.
Just let that sink in for a second. A single AI server pulling 5 kilowatts, 24/7.
That's like taking a whole rack of your old servers and squishing their power draw into one box. The amount of heat that thing pumps out is just immense. And it creates a cooling problem that, frankly, a lot of data centers and even some cloud providers are still trying to figure out.
Okay, we've talked computation, we've talked memory, and we've talked power, so let's bring it all home and talk about why understanding these fundamental differences is absolutely non-negotiable for planning your AI strategy and picking the right cloud partner.
So, what are the new rules of the road? First, take your old capacity planning documents and just toss them. They're obsolete. Second, you have to build for 3 different workloads: the training marathon, the validation sprint, and the real-time inference. Third, power and cooling are no longer afterthoughts, they are day one critical design challenges. And finally, you have to completely rethink your data architecture for massive parallel access.
So, this all boils down to one critical question I'll leave you with. Is your infrastructure and is your potential cloud provider truly ready for this paradigm shift? In our next module, we'll start digging into that by looking at the specific architectural choices the big cloud players are making. Thanks so much for tuning in.